that's the right one. All right, and we live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Live.
episode 30. I just looked at it and I forgot 34. We're at 34 now?
34.
34. Okay, good. I'm
34.
glad. I'm like, I wrote it down as 34 too. I hope I had the right one. Which is, it would have been funny if this
Would have
was.
been perfect.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it was the 35th episode on the 35th anniversary of Zelda. So that's mostly why we're here today, everyone. We're here to celebrate our dear friend Zelda, Link, and all of their little friends in the world of Zelda Land, Hyrule, whatever. And have another episode of this show. So it's down to two of us. It's kind of random who you get each week, but I've kind of kicked out everybody else, and I brought back Alex. So we're doing pretty good.
Thank you.
How
as your boss, I appreciate it.
Alex, how has your week been?
The week it was fine. Do you want to know about gaming, or do you want to know about the week in general? Because they're kind of different paths.
Well, pick the best one. Share that one. Share the good news.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So yeah, today is the February 21st. If you were listening to it on February 21st, is the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. So all week I've kind of been like in a Zelda mood, and we've been doing Zelda week on the website Link Cable Gaming. So like I've been like in that Zelda mindset. I've been wanting to play a Zelda game. But I have to say I'm a little upset at Nintendo. Like upset, but also like okay, because I was all ready to go with Skyward Sword. I was gonna replay Skyward Sword, and I was like, here we go. I'm gonna replay this game and finish it again and remind myself why it is one of the best 3D Zelda games, even though apparently no one on Earth agrees with me.
Yeah, check out our other video for the tier list of best Zelda games. There's a whole discussion about that. Carry on. Go on.
But even like on Twitter, like after the Direct, I was like on Twitter and everyone was like, crapping on Skyward Sword, being like, oh, we wanted Wind Waker. Oh, we wanted Twilight Princess. And like, I was like, these are the exact same people that like for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and years have been like, we want Skyward Sword HD. They finally get it. And they're like, oh man, I don't really want it. So anyway, I was all ready to play Skyward Sword, and then they announced the HD version coming out in July, and I was like, oh, I'll put a pause on that. So I was going through my Zelda games. I'm like, which one do I want to play? And so I've been playing a little bit of A Link to the Past, a game that I think the Zelda ranking video kind of highlighted that I like it. I think it's a fine game, but I don't like love it as much as everyone else did. So I've been replaying it, and it holds up. It is a very strong little Zelda game. I've been playing a lot of Link to the Past. I'm about halfway through the Dark World. It's not a very long game.
I don't think I've ever finished it, actually. Actually, I'm almost positive I've never finished it before. It's a game I played like when I was younger, just over and over. But I remember the beginning very clearly, but never anything past that.
I think what A Link to the Past, where I think people kind of misremember things, is that there's not a lot to do in between dungeons. You're just going from dungeon to dungeon to dungeon. Like, there's no like, oh, visit this town and build up this. It's not like Ocarina of Time that had like, in between dungeons, there was a lot to do, story-wise or just things to discover. A Link to the Past is very much, hey, you finished that dungeon, you better head over to that next one right now. Like, there's really no...
We got a list of stuff to get done. Let's do it.
Yeah, and like there's hard pieces and secrets to find, but like you don't have to. Like it's all optional. So much from A Link to the Past. Like I just find myself just cruising through it. I think I'm at the I don't remember the name. I think it's the Ice Palace. It's the Ice Dungeon, the one no one likes, but I'm at that one. So that was my how did I do for Zelda Week, this most holy time of year? Played A Link to the Past, and I am having a blast. I won't change my ranking. I still think it's a decent Zelda game, but not S tier. Okay, so I will show this off real quick. If you guys watched last week, I got into VR. I got a VR headset.
Oh gosh, here we go again.
I put it together, and I'm holding it here. So I got my Labo VR. You can see I built it. So I played the mini games that come with it, and I was like, "This is really cool! Like, it's VR, at the worst possible resolution." But I was playing the little mini games, and they were cute, and I was like, "I'm going to try Super Smash Brothers," and I almost threw up. That was disgusting. I never want to do that again.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah.
It looks worse than Smash on 3DS because they have to drop the resolution way down. The game moves super fast, and so and there's no real head tracking on the Switch, so you're playing it like I don't have a strap for this thing yet, so like I'm holding my controllers up to my head basically and moving my head like
that
this.
Is so bizarre. The fact that it doesn't come with a strap, the fact that it doesn't come with a strap or some way to keep it on your head is bizarre. It's like I've seen stuff where people put it like on this edge of the table and they're holding their face up to it. I have seen that before. I'm in like a Nintendo like Facebook group, and I remember when this thing came out, people were doing that, and I was like, who's gonna? The whole idea of it is just bonkers, and I don't know. This was a cool creative idea, but man, it's weird.
I should have done this for Zelda Week, but I should have done. It would have been perfect for this week, but I do want to try Breath of the Wild in it because I think it's a slower game. Like Smash Brothers is.
I think
is
you're
fast
gonna get
paced,
way more sick with that
around.
though. The real movement and stuff in that game, you're gonna want to throw up immediately. I don't know about that.
I kind of want to try it.
I mean, yeah, it's worth a try, but shoot, you're gonna be like, bleh, bleh. That's not a game you're gonna want to try out easily. My first VR game I tried was Borderlands 2, and I almost lost it in about 5 seconds. That's how quick it got to me.
Oh, really?
It was not a good because I did the full locomotion. I was like, yeah, it's fine, I can do it. I'm like, oh, this doesn't like me. I was on PSVR though, and that was also a shitty VR experience.
Yeah. If PSVR isn't a great VR experience, you can imagine what cardboard is with your console like slotted in there. Yeah, so I did that the other day. It's a fun project to put it together, which I like that about Labo. Like, you got all your cardboard and you start putting it together.
Especially for a younger audience. If I had kids or I was a kid, I do think this would be something I'd be wanting to try just to do it and have an experience, not because it's good, but because it's something to do. I think I'd be interested in it. Especially if you have no money really as a child. I completely forgot.
These things aren't cheap. But I forgot that Labo. Yeah. Well, it was like $100 for this set.
What? It was $100 for cardboard?
It's Nintendo cardboard. Like, of course it is.
Oh my god! I take everything I said back. This is for nobody. It's for you. That's it.
Yeah. But I forgot that Labo comes with a creative suite. Like, you can make your own games. And I was going through it because the game has all these tutorials, like how to make a game in VR. Here's what you need to be like conscious of. And I was like, I'm going to try to make a little VR thing. So I'll try sharing that with if I figure out how. I'll try to make a little VR game because, Labo has a whole coding side to it. You can make your own games. But anyway, that was my week. A bit of Link to the Past, and almost throwing up playing Smash Brothers in VR, which I don't recommend. I really don't.
Yeah, I can see that. So, anything else that you've dived into this past week before we switch over to Zelda stuff?
Well, I did play one game that I wasn't even going to bring it up because I played it for like an hour, and I just really had a lot of fun with it. But it was just I wasn't really paying attention to myself playing it. Battalion Wars on Gamecube.
That's a
do you know about this game?
Yeah, I remember that game for sure. I believe I own it. Do you have the case for it? What does this look like?
I do. Here it is.
I'll tell you if I have it if I see it. I can't remember if that's the one I have. Maybe I don't. I don't remember.
There's two because
there's another game that reminds me of it. No, I definitely don't have the second one. There's a GameCube game that I do have that it was like really random that I was like, oh, I'll play this, and I never ever played it once. What is it called? Now it's like a Battalion game GameCube. It's not that game.
You're gonna get this one.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun.
There's another game that's like it, man. I'm driving me crazy, and I know it's on my shelf downstairs. I'm gonna have to look at this after the show. It's something Wars or what's like a war type turn-based game that's on there. There's gotta be some. Oh, did you ever play? Oh, this game came out. Goblin Commander. Did you ever play that game?
No, I never played Goblin Commander.
This is a game. Oh, I totally forgot about this game too. This game was the shit. It was like an RTS game, but you could control certain things. It was really fun. I wish I could play that again. Okay, hang on, let me see.
That's what Battalion Wars is.
Turn-based.
You have your units, and you can pick them. Which, like, oh, I want to be the tank, and you switch to the tank, but you're still controlling all your other armies.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
what this game I'm thinking of is.
Jumping
like,
in a.
I remember you had like. Well, I don't know if it was. I'm not making any sense. I'm going nuts. Let me try one more Google. Future Tactics. This is it.
I have no idea what. I still don't know what that is.
Future Tactics: The Uprising. This is the game that I have. I remember watching videos on it, but I don't remember if I actually played it or not. Yeah, there's regular. I don't know what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm making this all up, but I don't actually own this game. But I'm pretty positive I bought this game, like, randomly used, and I was like, "Oh, this looks just like what I want to play." Shoot, I
have no idea what you're talking about.
All right,
I have
well,
zero idea what you're talking about.
Well, I'm gonna revisit this after the show, and I'll have to have you tweet out what the answer of this is because I can't remember what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, well, it sounds like you had a fun week. Oh, I did want to ask you about the Project Triangle game. I know you tried that out this week as well. So I know you wrote a preview review thing about it, and it was, from what I got, is not really your cup of tea. But I don't know if you want to talk about it for a few seconds here, just to give everybody a quick intro to tell them to go read that.
Yeah, please go read the article. I feel like it gathers all my thoughts, and I'm trying to remember everything about this game. So really, it's just, I don't think it's going to end up being a bad game. I think this was just a bad demo. It just kind of throws you into this brutally difficult chapter of a game in the game. The game even tells you we crank the difficulty up higher. It doesn't really explain itself well. It doesn't present itself well. Like, it's really hard to figure out the menus, and like, I even put a screenshot in the preview. It's like, here's all your menus and all the overlays. Like, the graphics get lost in all of it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hopeful. I think it'll be a good game at the end, but like, they really can't put it out the way it is now because that was just a bad demo. And like, it is hard, like, just jumping into a game like that, like, further along into it.
Yeah, I've seen mixed. Like, from what you're talking about, I saw you didn't like it. And one of the podcast people I listened to talked about they didn't care for it. And then one of my buddies yesterday was describing how much he really enjoyed it. And I was like, wow, this is, I guess it is for somebody. It just isn't for me though, because I'm not that kind of guy. When that came on the screen, and we talked about this in our direct, but I'm still pretty salty that it's not a Octopath Traveler 2, because that means Octopath Traveler 2 is probably far, far, far away from coming out or even being mentioned because they're working on this game now, which is just even more discouraging.
Just play Bravely Default 2.
Well, I pre-ordered it / whatever it's called. I guess it's pre-ordering. Bought it from Best Buy. It should show up this week, and I'm excited to try that. Plus, I had a ton of like Best Buy credit, so I paid $4 for it, so I felt pretty good.
Ooh, it's
so
$4.
Like, okay, this will be fun.
That's a good deal.
Not that I need more long RPG games that take forever to play, but I'll be enjoying this.
It's on Switch, right? Like, I find the RPGs on Switch just go by faster because they become suddenly 10 minutes before bed.
That's exactly why I want it on Switch. But the thing is I have like 3 or 4 that are like that right now. Like, I'm playing Ys 8 still, which I don't know why I started playing it. I think we talked about it on here one time, and I was like, oh, it's on sale. Maybe I should pick it up. And so I guess I'll jump into what I'm playing then, since we're switching over. So I've been playing that, and I like it, but I get so frustrated by it because I don't know where to go. The map system is really crappy. Like, they show you like an X where it's like you need to go here, but then I can't figure out how to get there, and I end up just running around, and my guys are so overpowered now because I've been basically grinding, just running around. So I just faced a boss, and it took me 3 seconds to take him down. I was like, okay, I'm way over leveled for what I should be doing for this, because it should not have been that hard, that easy. So I'm kind of glad it's easy, so I can kind of just breeze through it because I have other games I want to play now. But I still don't know where to go. I literally play every single night before I go to bed, and I wander around the same beach, same forest, I even looked up videos online, and I still can't figure out where I'm trying to go because they're at a spot I don't even know how to get there, and I'm watching like a playthrough of it. It's driving me insane. So I don't know. I might give up on that, but I wish there was an easy way to stream it, because I'd love to stream it and just see if I could get somebody in who's played it before and be like, no, bro, go this way. You're close. So that's the big RPG in my life right now. Well, almost. sorry, my
Good
Switch
game.
RPG.
It's a very good game.
It is pretty fun, but I am
I
also
like these
like,
days a lot.
it's just like, I have such a bad attention span with games where I have really bad, like, me trying to focus on a game is very difficult because I see everything in my peripheral vision, and I'm like, I see a bunch of shiny games that I want to play that are over here now that are out brand new. Like, I'm Bravely Default 2, it's coming out, I know it's coming, and I mean, I have games next to me under my desk in a bunch, like in a stack. I'm like, okay, oh yeah, I gotta see that, and I gotta see that, and then I'm playing Persona 5 too, which is a humongous RPG, but it's not on the Switch, so I have to keep playing on my PS4, and like I have less like want to play it on my console like that because that to me is a lay down on the couch in bed game or something like that. So I've been playing that on my phone actually. They have a so PlayStation has like the native streaming app to like PSP and all that, or PS Vita and your phone and computer. It's terrible. It sucks. I have very fast internet in my internal network. I have everything hardwired that I can, and it sucks. But I found an app you can buy by this guy that works on the Android, or it's from the Android store, and it's called the PS Play, or PS, I'll tell you, it's right on my home screen because I use it all the time. Yeah, PS Play app. It's $5, I believe, or $6, and best few dollars I've ever spent. I have the controller adapter for my phone, and I'm able to play Persona 5 in bed, and I have been playing that every couple nights when I'm not playing Ys, and man, it works good. I played for 2 hours one night. I think it was last Sunday night I did that, and holy crap, I kind of forgot I was even playing remote because it just works so well. So yeah, I don't know. That's if anyone listening loves playing remote games, it works. That was kind of fun.
I do, and like I haven't turned on my PS4 in like a few months. It's honestly been a while since I've turned on my PS4. And I think that's exactly it. It's like we're getting to the point, maybe the Switch is spoiling us, or like even PC gaming, you can play pretty much anywhere. Xbox, you can stream. It's like playing a PS4 game, like I don't want to sound like a big like spoiled brat, but like you gotta sit down on the couch, you gotta take over the whole over the whole living room.
I'm a big fan of being comfortable when I'm playing games. Like I know people who are just crazy PC master race people, they all want to play everything on the computer, but to me it's like some games I don't want to play on the computer because it's not, if I'm playing a game with a controller, I got one here, but sitting here with a controller looking at my monitor is not comfortable. It's not exciting. I want to be able to put my feet up, lean back, be surrounded by blankets and pillows, and be comfy. And the games like that, like when I'm playing A Hat in Time, I've mentioned this 100 times in here for the Game of the Month Club thing, right? I have it on PC, and I hate sitting at my desk playing like a platformer like that. Like it does not seem comfortable. Any platformer, our big RPG, any big game I'm spending a lot of time in, I don't want to sit at my desk. There's a few exceptions to the rule, like World of Warcraft. Obviously, I need to be sitting at my desk so I can use my mouse. But anything else where I can just grind and kind of sit away, I want to sit at my couch and play that, or in bed, or something like that. So I'm weird about it, and I know I get a bunch of flack. I'm
right there with you. Like I think the Switch has spoiled me. Like being able to be like
the Switch does.
You know what? Fire Emblem, I'm taking that to bed with me. Xenoblade, I'm taking that to bed. Zelda, I'm taking that with me. Like
that aspect of it, like being able to play regular games on the go instead of like I liked the 3DS, but not every game was perfect. Like sometimes they would make it wasn't like, okay, I'm playing a game for my Wii U and now I just go lay in bed and play it. It's like, oh, this is a different complete game. Still a good game, but it's not the game that I was looking for. I have to take a sacrifice to get the mobility. But having the Switch to literally just play the same thing you want in bed and it works just as good is one of my favorite things right now. It's funny though that like if I look in my mind, like all the systems kind of have their like thing, like the PS4 has their exclusives that everyone, or Sony, I guess them as a whole, they have their exclusives and all this, and that's like their big thing, and they have a bunch of consoles out in the wild, so it's like everyone loves Sony, whatever. And the Microsoft's got their Game Pass thing, and that's their push for everything. Plus they have their streaming app, and that works really well. And then Nintendo has, to me, is like, well, they have the mobility to take it, and that trumps everything. Like there's games that are Game Pass that I want to play that are also on the Switch, and I'm like, do I just buy it? Even though I could play it for free on my Xbox, but I could play it in bed with just picking up my Switch Lite. So like Monster Sanctuary is a game that's on Game Pass and on Switch. I technically can play it right now for free, but I'm so close to paying money for that game just to have it on the Switch, so I don't have to sit down. I don't know. I could go on and on about like the comfort of this. What's that?
There were all those rumors a while ago about Game Pass coming to Switch. I don't know if you remember. Like, everyone was talking about it. Like,
I wish.
I got something in my eyeball.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, if that became a reality to stream that stuff to there, especially like because the games that I want to be playing are like RPG slow games that I don't mind if they're on streamed and they're not perfect. But yeah. Anyways, so hang on, I had a list of things to talk about of my games. Oh, I already did. Persona 5 I played. Hat and Time I played. And this will lead me right into Zelda, which is perfect because I tried to get in the Zelda mood a little bit as well. I used to have a Zelda shirt that doesn't fit me anymore. Quarantine got the best of my body and I've gained some weight, so I cannot wear that. But I found a shirt that looks like it would be part of Zelda a little bit. It's got a cactus on it. I don't really know, to be honest, what this is.
It looks cool.
This is from a company that I like subscribe to their shirts. They have like an artist every month. And then it's like a different colored shirt with a random design from an artist, and they just like supports them. But I really subscribe to them because their shirts fit me really well because I have a really long torso and I'm really tall. So my arms, like the long sleeve shirts, so I get long sleeve. They're actually long enough, so I don't even care what's on it. I just have a shirt that fits me right. So this is my Zelda shirt, and then I was like,
right.
I gotta try to go on.
I was gonna say the people listening to this like on Spotify or on podcast, just imagine the coolest shirt you could think of. That's what Kevin's wearing right now. Coolest shirt you could think of.
So for Zelda games, I wanted to get back into Link's Awakening on the Switch, the remake with the clay people and stuff. But my wife usually watches me play that, and she's been kind of on an opposite schedule this week. So I was like, okay, I can't play that. She'll be mad. So I was like, you know what? I started back into Wind Waker on my Wii U. But I haven't played that in a while, so I brought down, and that was in my bedroom because I was trying to play that at night, but it just became kind of a pain in the butt because then I just started playing handheld games, so I had the TV on. So I moved my Wii U down to my living room, which is a little bit more accessible for me, and I started playing Wind Waker for a little bit, and played for an hour-ish, not a ton, but kind of got me in the Zelda mode. And then today, I started seeing articles and reports about there's a possibility of there still might be some type of Zelda anniversary thing with Wind Waker coming to Switch. I'm like, do I want to just wait until it comes on the Switch and then I can play this in bed easily? And then I just get stuck waiting again. And this is something. So this is also going to tie in. I'm going to tie in Zelda plus like just regular gaming topic because I do this all the time where it's like I never know when I want to play something because right now there's always something else coming out that makes that game better. And not even like the sequel. It's just the same thing. Like I'm having the same problem with Marvel's Avengers. It's got the PS5 or Xbox like special edition coming out in March now, right? But it's like I started playing that like a month ago, and I'm like, oh, I should get back to it. I'm like, well, maybe I should just wait now because now it'll be upgraded for PS5. So I'm like, okay, I'll put that game away. Don't need to play that. Then Microsoft comes out and announces a bunch of backwards compatibility, first person or frames per second boosts and stuff in all these games. I'm like. Now I'm upset because they announced Watch Dogs 2, which I bought on Xbox, and I returned it and bought it on my PS4. So now I'm like, well, now I'm going to play it on this shit console. Like, do I just go and rebuy it again to play it on there? Like, I'm always searching for the best, like, specs, and I'm not playing games because I'm too busy doing it. So, tying this all back in, playing Wind Waker is like, do I want to try and do this on here, or do I just wait until it comes out on Switch?
Here's my take on that. I think you should play it on Wii U.
Okay.
Because can't imagine what they would do to a Switch version that would make it so much better than what was on Wii U.
Yeah, I could play it in bed.
It's already in HD.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah, just take your gamepad to bed with you. Play it on the gamepad.
I was doing that for a while, but that screen is just it's so shitty looking.
Yeah, that screen is garbage. But one advantage that the Wii U does have, and this is like this would only apply if you're playing on the TV, is that you have the whole inventory on the bottom screen.
Yeah, but I'm not even using the big tablet. I'm using like their Pro controller too.
Well, then wait for the Switch version.
Yeah, I know. I probably should play with the tablet because it would be kind of cool to have that. I've also been like
the tablet in Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD. Like, it is it's just so much like forget how annoying it is to have to pause a game just to put on a different pair of boots. And it fixes that. It's so great.
Okay, maybe I will just finish it. I have Twilight Princess on the Wii U as well, but it's not opened yet. And I'm like, do I just hold on to it, not open it, and then see if that comes out on the Switch? Like, would that be worth something one day, maybe?
Not a particularly rare game, but it's like
I got that game for so cheap too.
Wii U.
That was the best
The
part.
Wii U is such a weird console because it's like
Awkward.
no one has a Wii U, so it's like, yeah, I mean, like it's not a rare game, but is it rare by the simple fact that it's on Wii U? Because like no one had this thing.
The weirdest games go up in value, and it's weird because I'll never sell it. I'll just hold on to it forever. I just like to brag that it's worth a lot. That's all it is. It's not like I'm going to sell it even if it was a lot. I'd be like, oh, I still want to keep it.
I wouldn't think the Zelda games on Wii U would go up that much. Maybe Breath of the Wild, because that was like also a Switch game.
Right.
Like Wind Waker, everyone bought a Switch or a Wii U for Wind Waker when it came out. Twilight Princess, it sold fine. Like there are two versions of Wind Waker though. I don't like. Is your box gold or is it blue?
I do not know. I would have to check. Which one's the better one?
No, they're the same. They're the same games, just a different box art.
Well, which one's like more rare? I guess like
a gold one.
Okay, I guess it would be blue because it's not like the normal colors, like the triangles and stuff that's on it. Like, show me a Wii U regular one. That's the.
Does this look like yours? This is the gold one.
I don't think so. I haven't looked at so all my Wii U games are all because I only have like 15 games in the Wii U. I have all the CDs in like a CD holder thing, so I'd never look at the cases of them.
You do that. I was wondering. Me and Jacob were arguing. My brother were arguing. We're like, who? Like when you have games that like come in cases, like who takes them out and puts them elsewhere? Sound you?
I only do it. I only do it for a couple consoles. And the Wii U, I only have like I said, like 15 games. There's not very many. And I used to take my Wii U, like when I'd go like camping or something, and I'd bring it with me. It was like the weirdest console I would take. So that's what I would do. So I had them all with me to travel with. I used to do the same thing actually with my GameCube. I had them all in there too, and I think actually they still are in the cases when I was little.
I mean, those are like the GameCube has a handle on it, like it's made to be carried around. The Wii U,
I've got
party
three
console.
GameCubes.
That's Smash Brothers.
I don't even know why I have so many stupid GameCubes.
It's an odd amount of GameCubes.
It is a weird odd, and they're all the black ones. I don't have any purple GameCubes. I never had a purple one.
I have a silver one.
I've always had the black one. I always thought that was normal, and then I'm like to a friend's house, I'm like, why is yours purple? They're like, no, that's what it's supposed to be. I'm like, oh, okay. Why am I weird then? So
I had a black one, and the laser died, and then I got a platinum one, and that's my GameCube still.
You're fancy.
It came with Mario Sunshine.
Good game. I still haven't opened my Mario collection thing yet to even play it because I'm too scared to open it. Because
me neither.
Maybe I should just buy digital.
I might never open that. Yeah, I might never open that.
I feel like I need to just buy
you're running
digital.
Out of time.
I know, and I as soon as I said that, I thought about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have like, there's a couple weeks left. Jesus.
End of March.
Okay. All right, so let's transition over
talking about Zelda.
to our screw Mario. We're here for Zelda. So I don't have crazy Zelda stories because growing to me Zelda has always been something that I love, but I never complete. My completion time is next week when we talk about Pokemon because that is a completionist lifestyle for me. Zelda is a game that I experience and I get frustrated with, not because it's a bad game, but it's usually because I just get caught up in too many things and I look for random shit and I'm trying to find heart containers and then I get to a point of a game and most of the time I just end up giving up and I sometimes come back, sometimes don't. I've only beaten a handful of the Zelda games, but the one game that I know I've beaten a couple times and I have a fun story about with some show and tell I brought was Zelda the Ocarina of Time. So that game came out when I was in, I believe, elementary school. And yeah, it was. And we had library, and the library time we were able to check books out, right? And one of the books they had available was the Nintendo Power in the magazine section. And this is before I subscribed to it, so I would check them out in the library, read them at home, and bring them back. Well, one day I came to the library and they had the player's guide for Ocarina of Time, which is a game that I had rented from the rental store across from my parents' house. And I was like, this is perfect. I can bring the guide home and I can play it. Oh gosh, my nose keeps itching. I'm trying not to sneeze. Anyways, so I got the book, brought it home, and played with it for a whole weekend. And I was going to bring the book back to the library, and my mom packed in my lunch. It had like a plastic bottle with a screw lid on it, and she put grape juice in it. And I had my little lunch, and my mom didn't screw the lid on all the way, and I had a paper bag in my lunchbox, and the grape juice spilled all over my backpack and got the magazine or the player's guide covered in grape juice. So I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm in like 4th or 3rd grade or something. I just brought the thing back, and I just told the lady, sorry. I was like, I'm sorry. Like
You're about to be expelled.
Yeah, and I'm, and I'm a goody kid when I was young. Even now, I'm not a like live on the edge type of person. But I felt really bad. I just told him sorry. There was an accident, and I tried to wipe it off with paper towels. I remember, and it only really got like the stain, like the purple, like the grape juice color, only got the cover. The rest of the pages were still fine. They were just damp, right? So I gave it back, and I was like, I'm really sorry. And the lady was so mad at me. She goes, you're going to be buying for this, and we're going to take it, and I can't believe you. And I remember crying and being so upset, and I was like, it wasn't even my fault. So she took the player's guide from me, and I went home, and they gave me a note to give my parents, and I told my mom, and I told her I was so sorry, and I was crying. My mom got so mad because she's like, it's my fault. I put the thing in your lunchbox. I shouldn't be taking it on you. And they're like, we'll pay for it. It's fine. It's $15 or whatever. And my mom's like, well, we're paying for it, but we're keeping it. And I was like, she took it from me. She wouldn't let me have it. So my mom brought me back to school. My mom was furious. We go in there, and I'm like telling this lady, like, how dare you yell at my child like this? He apologized. It was my fault. So you should yell at me, and you should have called me and not make him cry in front of his friends. And my mom goes, here's your $20. Keep your change. But I want this book back. You're not keeping it. And she's like, we threw it away. And I remember telling my mom, like, no, Mom, it's over there. And I pointed to where she left it. And it's over there. The lady was lying to my mom. So my mom grabs it, and we just leave. So
nice, good.
I have a slightly grape-stained player's guide from the Ocarina of Time that I've worn the pages off of. I ripped the front off because it had grape juice all over it, so it's missing the front page. Right. But I have this official book that has been through so much in my life that I remember just reading this, playing the game, and then pulling it out again when I got the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time. So this book's been through a lot. I mean, you can tell the pages are all like they've been wet and soiled with grape juice, but it's still here. So I always think of this as a good Zelda memory in my mind because it's gotten a lot of use, and I fought for it to get this back, and I was able to get this. So, and then I also brought.
It's a great story.
This is a little bit of an opposite where I have the giant book for Breath of the Wild of a game that I always just like shit on every time in this podcast, but I do really like Breath of the Wild. I have to just, and everybody listening is going to be like, what a hypocrite, all this, and I'm glad there's only you here because I do want to give this game another try because there's so much about it that I do like. I just have got to get over the damn weapons breaking. That's all I have to do. I just have to look past that, look past the optionalness of the game, and just try it because, as soon as I get the book in my hand, I'm like, oh, maybe I need to try this again because I love, physical books like this. And it is so big. It's so big. There's so much in here. I love these big Bibles of the game where it's got every little thing. I had the same thing for Oblivion, and I loved that book. I remember reading it. It was my toilet read when I was in high school, and I'd come home, do my business, and read. So yeah, that's my Zelda my Zelda story, and I don't have anything crazy exciting because Zelda me was always a game I'd play for a little while and kind of move on. But Ocarina of Time was one that I stuck with several times.
It's a great story. That's a really fun story. I'm glad you have that. It's Ocarina of Time. I think it came out at such a time for people our age that it was the perfect time to build stories off of it.
Yeah.
It was my first Zelda game, and I guess I can start my best Zelda moment from that point. It was my first Zelda game, and up until that point, I considered myself a gamer. I was in I think Ocarina came out. Ocarina of Time came out in '98, so I was in 4th grade.
Okay.
And so it just came out, and I was a gamer, but what were my games? Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong Country, Mario Kart. Really get start at point A to point B games. Really, there's not a lot of exploring in those.
Right.
And actually, when I was a kid, and like now I'm a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan, but like back in the day, I didn't like Sonic the Hedgehog because there was too much exploration. It was like, no, I just want to like play like Mario. Like there's a path, there's maybe two paths, there's secrets here and there, but it's a point A to point B game. And then we got it for Christmas that year. We opened it up. Me and Jacob, we often got like our like video games were like a shared present. They were to both of us, so that way we wouldn't fight over it basically. And got Ocarina of Time, and I remember being like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what the Legend of Zelda is. You hear about things. It was like Final Fantasy was another one that I was like, that's a game for grown-ups. Metal Gear Solid, that's a game for grown-ups. Like this was not a game for kids, and I was like almost, I don't want to say afraid of it, but I was definitely intimidated by it. I put it in the N64, start it up, and Ocarina of Time does this really great thing where it starts you off in that little village in Kokiri Village. You can't go anywhere else, and you're just kind of like going around. You're finding like in the first few minutes, you're just finding rupees to be able to buy the shield. You're finding the sword, which is like a big thing, and it's like there. Like you can't even go see the Deku Tree yet because what's his name, Mido, is blocking the path. Like you have, and you do.
Super guy dropping in front of you every time.
Yeah,
remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that. But it's a tutorial. Never says it's a tutorial. It's never really like, oh, okay, you got to press this button now to do this, and like it's really just you're just like running around this little village finding what you need to get forward. And, like you get the hang of it, and then we went into me and Jacob was like he wanted to play, but he was way too like he was 3 years younger than me, so he was like in grade 1, so he didn't really get what was going on. Wasn't, but. Watching me play, and we go into the Deku Tree. It's full of spiders, right? Because that's like the theme of that dungeon is just gross spiders, and we're crapping our pants. We're so scared. We're like, oh my god, like, and we like. As a kid, you kind of think that that's like equivalent to an R-rated movie, the spider. And like you look at Ocarina of Time now, and it's so cartoony, right?
Yeah,
it's not
so tame.
Real. But as a kid in your mind, it looks like the art style from like their player's guide. Like that's what it looks like. And so we go through it, and I remember that first day, and like this was a big thing for me. Like now I can beat the Deku Tree dungeon in Ocarina of Time in like 15 minutes. Like this was like a big thing, being able to beat that dungeon. We make it to the boss, and it killed me. I didn't beat it. I went back, and it killed me again. It killed me 5 times that first day, and I was like, I never played a game like this before. I didn't understand the concept of a boss that boss you have to hit in its eye, make it fall, and then hit it on the ground. Like bosses up to that point where you jump on it 3 times and it dies. Like, the
jump on its head, and that's it.
The concept of having to do something different and like have kind of an order of things was so bizarre to me. I didn't understand that. Like I had never played a game that made you do this, then do this, then do this. It was Mario jumps on Bowser or shoots fireballs at it. In Donkey Kong Country, you jump on the enemies. Like that's all I kind of understood. And we finally beat it. It was like it was late that night, but my dad, the big nerd too, so he was like, all right, this is like, after this, you guys got to go, like, take your baths and go to bed. But like, all right, you get one more shot at it. And he was cheering us on, and we beat it. And, like, we beat the dungeon, and then of course after that it was like, all right, my dad's like, all right, wrap it up, go to bed. We're like, Dad, it's like a 10-minute cutscene. Like we didn't realize that this was how like video games were. We were like, look, there's a movie, we can't stop it.
Yeah.
But anyway, eventually get to the save. Then the next day we go downstairs, and we're like, all right, we're going to like keep Ocarina of Time going. This is my favorite Zelda moment of them all, and I won't recap the entire playthrough, my first playthrough of Ocarina of Time, because it took me years to finish the game. It honestly took me over a year to finish the game. But we get to the finish. You finish in the Kokiri Forest. You grab the few other things you need to do. Then it was entering Hyrule Field for the first time. And just kind of, you talk to the owl for like 15 minutes. And then you get into Hyrule Field, and you just have this field that is just completely wide open. And like, you know, you have to go to the castle to meet the princess. You know that that's the direction you're going in. But there's a mountain over there with a crazy cloud, and over there there's a or is that a ranch? Like, and you see these weird enemies you've never seen before. And then what the part that blew me away, and I had to pause the game, and like, I don't know where my dad was. He was in like having a coffee or something outside. I paused the game and I ran out and got him, and I was like, Dad, it's night. He was like, what do you mean it's night? I was like, Dad, come see this. Like put your cigarette down and come see this. And so he comes in, he's like, what the frick are these kids talking about? He walks in, and it was the day and night cycle of how it went from day, which up until that point it had always been day in every video game ever, unless it's a night level specifically,
right, to
an actual day and night cycle. Like, yeah, it lasts like 2 minutes. Like it's like the fastest days ever. I was like, this is a world. Like, this is not just a level 1-1, level 1-2 type thing. This is like living, breathing world. And so that was my favorite Zelda moment ever, was just being like, oh my god, there's way more. Like, it's not just Mario finishing every level. It's not just, Mario Kart where you're racing and it's an obvious thing you're trying to do. So that's where my love of Zelda really started, was in those first 2 days playing Ocarina of Time. Then I always remember the points where I got stuck. And so Ocarina of Time is not a very hard game to go back to if you've played it a bunch. It's very linear. But I do remember like a few moments where I got really, really stuck, and I didn't have a great covered player's guide to help me out. Like, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. So the first point in that game where I got like incredibly stuck was on Death Mountain, and you have to Darunia, the Goron chief, he's in a bad mood. Dodongo's cavern is blocked off. The Gorons are starving, and he's crabby. It isn't really time for kids running around his town. And I knew you had to play a song for him, and I knew Zelda's Lullaby.
Here's how you do it. Just
I didn't have that. I had Zelda's Lullaby, had the song of Sun Song, which I found by an accident, and I had Epona's song. I never went back to the forest to go get Saria's song, and Navi kept screaming at me, "Hey, what do you think Saria would say? Hey, do you think we should go see Saria? Hey, do you think Saria would know what to do?" And I was like, Navi, shut up. I'm trying to figure out this puzzle. And it took, honest to goodness, and this is embarrassing, and this is why I finish games now, because I have to prove it to myself. It took like weeks for me to wrap my head around this puzzle. And like, cause like, I was like, oh my god, Navi's so annoying. Like, she won't like tell me what to do. And I was like, but I had a friend who he was in a grade higher than me, so we didn't really see each other like a whole lot, like, because he was too cool for us little kids. But we were friends like on the weekends basically. And like, he was also playing Ocarina of Time, and I asked him, like, I don't know what to do with this part. He's like, oh, you need to play Saria's song. And I was like, I don't know that one. He's like, oh, just go see Saria. She'll teach it to you. And then I got unblocked there. And then the water temple gave me a hard time, but it was the shadow temple that gave me the hardest time. I could not beat the shadow temple to save my life as a kid.
I don't even remember these things. I want to play this again. I wish it would. I hope that some of these rumors I keep hearing about this coming to Switch and HD would be just amazing, because it's like I'm looking at like the guide, and like I can see the table of contents that you're talking through. I'm like, okay, I remember fire, I remember ice cavern, I remember water temple, and I saw the shadow temple. I'm going, I don't even remember anything about that. There were like the ghosts somewhere with the jars or something. Was that this game?
Well, the ghosts. No, you're probably thinking of the forest temple, because that has the 4 ghosts that take the fire away.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
The shadow temple is just like a crypt. Like, it's just skulls and redeads everywhere.
Man.
And that one, I had a really hard time finishing that one as a kid. Then one more Ocarina of Time story. This is at the very end of the game, so spoilers. I beat Ganondorf. So like the first battle where you're like he throws a ball of energy and you swing it back at him. I did that and I was like, oh my god, I did it! I beat the game. And Zelda's like, no, we gotta bolt. Like this place is like the castle is coming down around us. I do the whole escape thing, and I remember I did it the first time, and I was so proud of myself. And I was like, oh my god, I did it! I beat the game! I beat the game! I was jumping up and down, and like I had like 2.5 hearts left. Like I got to this point by the skin of my teeth. Then Ganon shows up, and he one-shot me, and I was like,
oh my god,
oh what? Like I was just, and it blew my mind back then that like a boss can have a second phase. Like I didn't understand this. This was my first time doing this. Obviously, if I would have played A Link to the Past before, I would have like, oh right, okay, these things happen. Like in all the things I ran into would have been explained in a way. But yeah, my first time playing Ocarina of Time was revelation. It grew me up as a gamer. I became a gaming man. Then.
A gaming man. That's also a good
Gaming
story
man.
when you're gaming. It's both Zelda games, Ocarina of Time has spoken to us. It is a great game, and I'm really hoping for this HD version of it to play it again, because at the same time, it's like, if I get kids now and I want them to play, it's like they're not gonna want to go play in this crappy graphics of with the Wii U and 3DS or
Too bad.
Current. It's like they're not gonna want to do that.
Too bad. Start them at Zelda 1. Turn them into gaming pros.
Yeah, maybe that would probably be best.
And play Ocarina of Time until you finish Zelda 1, Zelda 2, A Link to the Past, and Link's Awakening.
I love my
Original
kids. I'm not
hardware.
doing that to them.
They'd be pros though. They'd be like,
or they'd
so
hate
good
me,
at
either
games.
or they'd hate it so much they'd hate video games. They'd just be like sports people and just want to play football and stuff, and I wouldn't know how to be their dad, so I can't do that. All right, well, I think that wraps up stories of Zelda and our personal little touches of everything. And we've also gone through a lot of Zelda news this whole week between our tier list. We've just talked about.
Yes, we have.
We've talked about the Direct, which touched on Zelda a little bit. Talked about Skyward Sword. We had a video for that this week. We've written articles all week about Zelda this, Zelda that. So I think we did Zelda Week some justice. I think we did good.
I think so too. Can I share one more story? I just thought of this one too.
Yeah,
it's not as long. It's nowhere near as long, but it's really funny. I was on a date in
okay, here we
2003. So I was in grade 8.
I was
and
like,
if
wait,
the person who I was on a date with
2003. Wow. Okay.
So in 2001 I was in grade 7. I was in grade 9. So I was in grade 9. I was on a date.
Okay.
Me and my friend, we went to the movies that night. And after the movie, her mom was going to come pick us up, but she was late. And this was like, she had a cell phone, but it was like one of those old like Nokia things. Like you could send like a text, but it cost like $15 to send it. So
right.
we got a text being like, "Hey, I'm going to be late by like half an hour." And we were like, "Okay, there's a mall across the street. Meet us there. We're kids. We're gonna go shopping, right?"
Right.
And I had like $40 on me, and this was my date money that my mom had given me because I was going on a date, and that was pretty special.
Mm-hmm.
And we go into Zellers, which for the Canadian listeners, R.I.P. Zellers. For the American listeners, it's like a Target before Target.
Okay, fair. Who's about to ask what that was?
Okay, so imagine a Target, but like if Target never left like the 1980s, that would be Zellers.
So Kmart.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Zellers and Kmart are like one and the same.
Okay.
But anyways, so we go there and we go to the video game section. I definitely she wanted to go look at whatever, and I was like, "Oh, what about video games?" Right there is a copy of The Wind Waker, and I hadn't played The Wind Waker, and like at this point in my life, I was a huge Zelda fan. Like Zelda defined my personality in a lot of ways. Majora's Mask had come out a few years before, and I was just like, this is the greatest moment in gaming. This is the greatest series in gaming. And I see this copy of The Wind Waker. I was like, I got $40. I can't afford this. I need to buy it. I can't. So I asked and I a little bit begged my date to pay for the rest of my copy of the Wind Waker.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. And it's behind me somewhere, but I still got it.
Yeah, but how'd the rest of the date go?
I mean, it was a grade 9 date where her parents were picking us up. It ended with hand holding in the back seat.
Ooh, some hand touchies. Scandalous.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a ladies' man at one point in my life, but now I still own a copy of the Wind Waker on GameCube, single. I own a copy of the Wind Waker on GameCube. I was just thinking about that because I was like, oh my god, like that's such a cringy story. It's funny now because it happened to a kid in grade 9. Like, it's supposed to make fun of, like, nicely, but like looking back, we were all awkward in grade 9.
Yeah, everybody.
And that was one of the awkward things I did in grade 9 was I asked my date to pay the rest of my video game that I wanted to go home and play that night.
Gosh. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you have that story, and I hope your date you had, and she's doing well today wherever she is.
Oh, she is. We keep in touch. She's doing well. She
hates video games.
I've never brought it up to her, and I don't think I ever I think I thanked her that night, and that was it. So if you're listening, thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to play the Wind Waker.
Wow, watch you guys get married now in the next few years. Wouldn't that be great? You heard it here first, folks.
There you go.
All right, well,
2 copies of the Wind Waker now.
I kind of hinted at it, but next week we have Pokemon Week coming at you, and we'll be doing the same thing, but talking Pokemon for 25th. I'm pretty excited for that because I have tons like Zelda. Like I think my Zelda or your Zelda is my Pokemon. Where like I was caught in the craze. Like I was the one crying in the movie theater in the Pokemon the first movie. Like it was my whole life was that. Like one of the first books that. And this will be a hint for something for next week, but I think I mentioned it before in this podcast. One of the first books that I learned how to read, that helped me learn how to read, was a book called How to Become a Pokemon Master. And I don't even know what this book is. It's literally, let me look this up. This is a great outro for the show. How to Become a Pokemon Master book. It's like it looks like an adult book. Here it is. It's called How to Become a Pokemon Master by Hank Scheslinger. This description may be from another edition of the product. Okay, that's not really it. But I don't even remember what this book was about, but I remember reading it over and over and over. And there's no pictures in it. So as a child, that was like a big step for me. I'm reading like a print book that has black and white pages. And I remember just reading it back and forth. I would just start it over and I'd be like, how do I become a Pokemon Master? Like, I want to be the best there ever was. And I thought it was so real that I could actually do this. And it was just a game. But yeah, I have a lot to share next week because that's something that I've always loved. So many Pokemon. I play every single one, even if I hate the game that comes out. I still play it, and that's the series that has changed my life. It's sad because I think it's such a less cool thing to say that's changed my life than Zelda, because Zelda's about fighting and swords, and Pokemon's about fake piece of trash that move. So it's pretty bad.
It's all gaming, man. Yeah. All fall whether it's Zelda or Pokemon or Metal Gear Solid or friggin' FIFA 99, it's all gaming, man. I don't know why I picked 99 out of all of them, but it was. I'm really excited for Pokemon Week. For our content, we've got tons of stuff lined up that's going to be going up on our YouTube channel, on our website as well, linkcablegaming.com. We've got tons of stuff for all the Pokemaniacs out there. We've got tons and tons. But also in the Nintendo Direct last week, there was no Pokemon news. I'm kind of thinking this is the week for Pokemon news. This would be a real good time to maybe Pokemon Unite. We haven't heard anything about in a really long time. The MOBA they're working on. Maybe some more info on new Pokemon Snap. That could be cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't talk about that at the Direct at all. That was something that I didn't really think about till after. It's like, well, usually if a game's coming out, they'll usually just say, just flash an advertisement for it or something. They didn't even say anything about it. And that's in April, I think, right? Is it May, April?
That's in April. So
it's coming soon.
Oh, it's April. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm like, I think we might get I don't know if a Pokemon Direct would happen. That's a big thing to guess on. No evidence, but I feel like there's going to be something Pokemon related this week.
Well, if I got lots to say, so I'll
Stay
bite my
tuned.
tongue for now because there's certain games I would love to see again that I just am addicted to. But all right, thank you guys, everyone, for joining us for the 35th anniversary special of the Link Cable with Alex and myself. We appreciate you, and we will
of the link cable of Zelda.
Yeah, sorry, I'm losing my mind here. Go Zelda. All right, I will talk to you guys all later in the next episode. Thank you much, and bye.